Okay, hello everybody, I'm Conquering History Games, and welcome back to stream number 11 of Fallout New Vegas. So what we're going to do is, today, or right now in this stream, we are going to try to find the rest of the Remnant, or I guess the Remnant reunion, or what do they call it? Arcade's old friends, or colleagues, whatever you want to call them. And, yeah, just do that, take care of a couple of other things here and there. So we'll work on that. Okay. So, let's just hop into the game. Also, I poured myself a little bit of bourbon, which I'm going to have a shot of right now. Cheers, everybody. Happy Monday. Oh man, hello Potato Man and Brady. Oh man, there's so much going on in there. I was just having some of my Infinity bourbon. There's just so many things going on in it now that it's like really it's just a lot on the tongue. But now I'm just gonna sip on a beer I have not had, I think, in literally years. I'm gonna have me some Foster's, which is Australian for beer, but this is made in the US. But yeah, I'm having myself an oil can. I'm gonna pour myself out a little bit of it so I could look at the coloring. Yeah, that's not as dark as I remember. It's a Foster's Ale. I prefer the ale to the lager. But it's been a very long time since I had either anyway. But the ale's much better. I like caramel malts. Okay. I've been told... No, I was going to say something, but no, that's not an appropriate story. What is happening? Let's load! Let's load, game! What's my opinion on the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter? Well, I don't like to talk about my personal politics, but I guess if we were to, I think if we wanted to look at this in the long-form view from a historical perspective, my initial thoughts would be, he might be kind of seen as this, ironically reactionary blip in the rise of neoconservatism, which kind of Nixon is like an early, or perhaps a foreshadowing wave of it, and it takes Watergate to get a Democrat into office, and then because it's a major shift of who's in charge. What is happening with this load up? I'm afraid there's something wrong, guys. Oh no. There's gonna be something wrong. But yeah, because if you look at the trends, at least at the executive level, obviously Congress shifts in a different way, and that's probably more indicative of the country. But you get after the Civil War, the U.S. Civil War, and it's just like, oh my god, it's fucking... It's like I asked Conquering History Games a question about Jimmy Carter, who gets elected in 1976, and now he's taking us back to 1865. But you go back to the Civil War, the American Civil War, and Lincoln becomes the first Republican president. He wins the Civil War, and then he gets killed immediately afterwards, and... fuck's sake. I think we're stuck, guys. Shit. Hold on. I need to... I'm going to talk about trends in presidential in a second here. Fuck. Hold on here. Let me try the old Alt F4. Fuck, that closed the wrong thing. That's really bad. Get the task manager open. Fuck me. So I actually can't see the feedback right now, guys, because when I tried to Alt F4, it closed out the other one. I might need to actually just hard restart the computer. Try. There we go. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Fuck, you guys are seeing that too. I need to get the task manager up. Fuck me. Okay. That's not good. Fuck me. Control Alt Delete. Nope. Okay. I think maybe from here now if I did Alt F4. Nope. It's just fucking ignoring it. Alright, let's try this. Oh, wait. Hold on. Fuck me. Okay, I'm gonna have to reset. Okay, I think we're getting back on now. Hoping. Alright. Alright. Okay, please work this time. Thank you. Okay. So, what quests were we doing here? For Old Lang Syne, right. So let's go get looking around for, oh, except I'm over encumbered. The beer has worn off. What is this, a hangover then? Here, let me just give some stuff here to Arcade.
Sure, just don't treat me like a packed Brahmin, okay?
Yeah, I'll try my best. Take that, that. What else have we got here? Plenty of stuff, I'm sure. Combat armor.
I'm not exactly in power armor over here, so why don't you help lighten my load a bit?
Arcade Ganon can't carry anymore. It's alright, we'll find some stuff to do with him. Take the... I don't know, we've got the boomer stuff here. Take the metal armor and this and this. Yeah, that's all pretty fine. Okay. We now want, Okay, got the combat helmet, get the combat armor. And yeah, for Old Lang Syne. So let's now go, where was it, to West Freeside. Anyway, right, so you can kind of see that there's broad trends in, like, the executive position in the United States, particularly since the Civil War, though it definitely was also there pre-Civil War. Whigs couldn't catch a break. Yeah, West Side South Entrance-ish area. So, yeah, the Civil War happens, and the Republicans are the ones who win the Civil War. So then it's just Republicans. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you had Johnson, but Johnson was like a constitutional union ticket thing, so that was like kind of a not exactly planned. He wasn't elected, is what I'm saying. So it's not really indicative of the trends in the United States. But then after that, it's just Republicans and Republicans until, and they're all Civil War vets, by the way. Like, there wasn't a U.S. president that wasn't a Civil War vet until Theodore Roosevelt, and that's because he was a child when he was hold on, I'm going the wrong way, and that's because he was a child when the U.S. Civil War happened, and plus he also was not elected. He was the vice president. He became the youngest president ever in history when he became president, so it hardly counts. And then, and you know what? He also was a Republican still. And so then, you don't, so basically, then you've got Taft following him up, and then Woodrow Wilson, a Democrat, wins, and he only really wins because the vote gets split between Taft and Theodore Roosevelt. So I think if only one of those guys had run against Woodrow Wilson, they would have won pretty handily. Well, actually, I don't know. Taft might have lost against Wilson, but I don't think so. So then you get Wilson very briefly. He gets his 2 terms. But then after that, it's immediately right back to more Republicans. Until eventually Franklin Roosevelt gets in off of the back of the Great Freaking Depression. So then, you could have run a hobo against Hoover, and they would have won. And there was plenty of them around anyway, right? Okay, so is it this way? I guess so. But then Franklin Roosevelt comes in, and he dramatically changes the game. Changes what the American people are looking for. And so he keeps getting elected, and he probably could have been elected as many times as he wanted. He had to fucking die before they stopped electing him into office. So then the Republicans think they've got their chance now, and then here comes along Harry Truman, another Democrat, and he wins on his own after inheriting from FDR. Judah Krieger, this is the guy. Don't worry, we're going to get to Jimmy Carter eventually.
You don't strike me as someone down on their luck. What brings you to West Side?
Arcade asked me to find you. I'm gathering the remnants.
Hello, Arcade. Making some new friends, are you? Why the need for a bunch of old war horses like us?
It was Arcade's suggestion, not mine.
It really must be bad over there if he's sending you to us. Is the idea that we swoop in by vertibird, guns blazing?
That sounds good to me. Does that mean you're in?
I'll be there, but it won't mean squat if the rest of the group isn't there too. Oh, and you'll need my part of the passphrase to get into the bunker. Navarro.
Tell me about the old days of the Enclave.
I miss those days sometimes. We all had a purpose, you know? I admit that some of the folks in charge were pretty ruthless. The rest of us, though, we were just trying to civilize things.
Of course you can ask it, Amadeus.
You, and it didn't look like we'd last all that long. Then we lost the oil rig, and shortly after that, the base in Navarro. Nobody left except us remnants. Internal sabotage took down the oil rig, but we did get the full story. The NCR took out Navarro, saying we posed a threat to the region.
What do you do in West Side?
I help tend the crops, stand watch for fiends, and generally help keep things civilized.
I'd like to know more about your former squad.
I was the officer in charge. Johnson and Moreno were my heavy hitters. Henry handled tech things, and Whitman called the chopper. Johnson and Moreno never got along, and I had my hands full keeping those two apart some days. It was a difference in philosophy, mostly. Mercy was not part of Moreno's vocabulary.
All right, interesting. This Enclave stuff. How long have you lived here?
A couple of years now. I was a trader for a while, but got tired of all the walking. West Side was a good place to settle down as any.
All right. Started in Navarro, now they're here. Do I have a big iron in my hip? I guess you're asking if I own a weapon. I don't own a pistol, no.
Judah Krieger is the glue that's kept us all together over the years, and with good reason. Anyone who can command Moreno and Johnson in the same unit without somebody getting fragged is one hell of a leader.
The good old
Krieger
fragging.
was polite and kind, but never won. He always did his best to make me feel welcome. I think he did it out of a sense of loyalty to my father. Loyalty means a lot to Judah. Not loyalty to the Enclave or even the ideals they fought for, but to the people who served with.
That's their story, Arcade, not yours.
Oh, I know. I was only a boy when they went through hell together. I'm glad you're helping me reunite them. Even if I'm still just a spectator in all of this, I know they can still do some good.
Cool. This is getting very interesting. So anyway, where were we? Yeah. So then Truman comes along. Get Rick settled before asking about the Enclave. Yeah, I will. So I guess let's try to, because I think yeah, there's only the one person left, Dr. Henry. So we need to. I really don't want to pay the 700 caps, but on the other hand, well, I don't know. Maybe we could do something. Let's see. West Side South entrance. Where's that gas station? Over here. Let's get a save file. Let's go to the gas station and let's see if we can deal with those dogs and stuff. So anyway, then you've got so FDR. You know, he could have run for president for the rest of his life, and he would have kept winning forever. Oh shoot! What did we activate? Hold on. Until he dies, and then Truman, who's not even his chosen successor, but the Republicans by this point are just so fucking impotent that they can't figure out how to beat the Democrats, so Truman wins, of all people. Wait, no, that's Arcade Gannon. Oh, shit! Got him! Dog hide, dog meat. Don't we need the brain? Where are they? Violet. Yeah, so then FDR wins, and then Eisenhower comes in, and he only wins because he's friggin' Eisenhower, and he was going to run as a Democrat. They both courted him, and then he just ended up choosing Republican, and I think whoever he picked would have won. Party, that is. Then you've got Kennedy versus Nixon, and let's face it, Kennedy had, you know, he wasn't a nobody. Like, Nixon tried to exaggerate that he had absolutely no experience in politics at all, but that simply wasn't true. But compared to Nixon, he was essentially a nobody, charismatic nobody, but a nobody indeed, and he still squeaks out a win against Nixon. Then LBJ comes in. He's doing the Great Society, and like whether you like the Great Society programs or not, you know, the war on poverty and all of that, or you know, Medicare, Medicaid, etc., etc. If it wasn't for the war in Vietnam, I think he would have definitely been seen as FDR 2.0, and he could have easily won again, and he actually could have still run again. So in theory, Johnson could have spent like 9 years in office, easily, I think, without the hold on, without do I have to like look for a specific brain? Hold on a second. Without the war in Vietnam, search for an exceptional canine brain among the fiends. Weird. I would have thought it would have been somewhere here. Here we go. Violetta's brain. Nice. Okay. Thanks for all the dog meat. And so then, of course, by then, once you've got 9 years of the Great Society, but then we're like too deep into the alternate history to really know what's going on. Is there going to be a reactionary movement or not? But there clearly was a trend towards liberalism. You could call it socialism. I don't think it's... I know that the terms liberal and socialism have just been destroyed in American political rhetoric. Whether you agree with them or not, the terms have been destroyed. So, but I don't think it's unfair to say that something like public broadcast television or things like that are socialist concepts. So they were popular ones, and then you've got Nixon, who comes along though. And he comes in off that three-way race, and the war in Vietnam becoming immensely unpopular, and he's able to win. What is this over here? Oh, right, the Gibson thing. Violet has a quest item for her head? You mean the person, not Violetta? You mean Violet? So then Nixon comes along, and the conservatives just come roaring back. So he wins in 68, and then he's got a fucking mandate in 72, enormous margin of victory, especially electorally, and then Watergate happens. So that kind of that throws a wrench in the whole deal. I'm trying to find Violet, the woman we killed. Where's her body? This person's on the mattress, missing a head. Where is Violet? So Watergate happens, so Ford comes into power, and so then Jimmy Carter wins. And again, I think it was kind of a case just like off of the backlash of Hoover and the Great Depression, that you could have run a fucking mannequin against Gerald Ford and he probably would have won. Violet's on the ground somewhere. I'm talking about the person Violet. I'm not talking about the dog. Because there was a person, there was like a fiend. Her name was Violet. I saw her up close. So yeah, Jimmy Carter squeaks in. He only gets one term. He loses, and he loses bad against Reagan. And so then now the neoconservatism is in full swing. All the hippie stuff, like the Equal Rights Amendment, has been defeated. And so then you're getting the rise of, the neoconservatives. So then Reagan begets Reagan turn 1 begets Reagan turn 2 begets Bush 1, who only loses his own re-election campaign because he broke his very public promise to the American people that there would be no new taxes. So that's how you're coming off of Reagan and winning a war and you still lose, is when you lie about taxes. And also, Bill Clinton was going the third way, where so then the Democratic Party of the 1990s is way different from the Democratic Party of the 1960s, 1950s, and the 1940s. Although the 1940s, it was kind of a huge big tent back then. I can't find her. I can't find Violet. Let me sleep. And so then you get a couple years of Clinton, which leads into more neoconservatism of Bush 2, and so now we're getting too close to modern things. But basically, I think that what Jimmy Carter in the long term, he's not going to be remembered as much. I think he's going to be remembered like a lot of kind of Gilded Age era presidents down the line, where he's going to get remembered like Grover Cleveland, except Grover Cleveland had that split two terms things going for us, but he's just going to be seen as, I think, as this Democratic blip because of Watergate that happens in the middle of this wave of the conservative movement. And of course, none of these things that I'm saying are my own personal opinions. I'm just expressing how I think the historiography of these people is going to be reflected. Let's just go do the brain thing. I can't find it. Ford is praised because he's raised here. Well, yeah, of course Michigan's going to love Ford. Texas loves Bush too. But I bet you half the people who like George Bush in Texas, they don't like Jeb. It's just, you know, a lot of that's because he's from Texas. That's like, I remember when I was in elementary school when Bush was running for the first time. Bush 2 was running in 2000. That they did a little thing just to kind of, it was just a little school activity to help explain voting to the kids. Like, we had a quote-unquote vote where, like, they'd take the kids at various points during the day, and we went to this area outside the cafeteria, and they would just give you a piece of paper, and it had pictures of, like, you know, George Bush and Al Gore, and then Ralph Nader, and everybody who was, like, running for president. There was, like, 8 pictures on it or whatever, and it would just say, it's like, so this is how voting works. You look at them, and these are who they are, and you select them, and you vote. And, you know, you put it in the box. Just like a little thing. This is literally elementary school, you know? If we judge presidents by their character, Jimmy Carter would be S tier. Well, I've always joked that whatever you feel about Jimmy Carter's policies, the guy does so much charity work that it must be good karma keeping him alive at this point. Because people make jokes about, oh, you know what, I think we have to wait until, like, the early morning or something, or later on. Yeah. You know, that he's older than Queen Elizabeth II, and people are always making jokes about Queen Elizabeth II being immortal and how she's going to be around forever. Jimmy Carter is older than her. But anyway, going back to the elementary school thing. So yeah, of course, Bush won by a landslide in the elementary school vote because all of us looked at the picture and we went, oh, that guy's from Texas and we're from Texas, so he's awesome. Do you think a bunch of elementary schoolers know anything about, like, foreign policy or the economy or whatever? Like, you know, we didn't know who any of these people were. It was just like picture and name and the state they were from, and so yeah, George Bush gets like 99% of the vote. Anyway, let's talk to old lady. I think I'm just gonna throw down the money.
So you're back.
I've got tons of it now.
Where did we leave off?
Let's talk about Ray's brain.
Like I said before, give me 700 caps, and Ray's brain is yours.
Yeah, sure. Oh, wait, what's this? How'd you meet Dr. Henry?
He and I had joined up with the same caravan. Add in a lot of whiskey and, well, let's just say we got to know each other.
Let's see here. Here's the 700 caps. Yeah.
Here, Ray. Mama's got something for you.
Oh my gosh! At least they didn't show how I was killed. So we've got them all now. Gibson scrape Docs Henry. Yeah. All right. So let's go and get this brain put in for Rex. Maybe you can raise your barter. Oh, well, it's too late now, Fifth Crusade, but that is a good point. Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda, and all that. But yeah, I think even now most Americans probably couldn't tell you anything that Jimmy Carter did, whether for good or ill, like whether they liked him or not. Or, you know, I'm sure if they liked him, they knew, like, if he were around, but it was one of those things. Like, let me put it this way. I think your average Republican voter today would tell you they don't like Jimmy Carter because he was a Democrat. I'm talking about people who vote straight ticket. I'm not talking about, because most people don't vote straight ticket, believe it or not. But despite what, you know, you see on the internet or whatever, most people do not vote straight ticket. You know, they're not married to a party. Anyway, so I would say your average Republican voter, though, they might say, it's like, hey, how do you feel about former Democratic president, I'm talking about straight ticket voters, former Democratic president, Jimmy Carter. They'd probably go, don't like him, and they probably couldn't tell you why. And then a straight ticket Democratic voter today, you could probably ask them, what did you think about Jimmy Carter? Like, and, you know, assuming these are people who weren't around when he was, which was, you know, 50 years ago now, or almost 50 years. And they'd probably say, oh yeah, Jimmy Carter, he was great, but they probably wouldn't be able to really say anything. Like, do you think anybody could talk about his terms of détente with the USSR Do you think anybody could talk about, other than they'd probably remember his fucking brother Billy and his beer before they remember anything about like his Latin American policies, or or then maybe they'd go, yeah, Jimmy Carter, that was the guy who he wanted to do like solar power, and he'd tell people to wear a sweater inside instead of turning up the thermostat to save energy. Like, they wouldn't have anything real of substance to talk about. So I think Jimmy Carter is just going to be one of those presidents that kind of fades into history, like so many of the Gilded Era presidents and things like that. Like, do you think your average person, or even your slightly historically minded person, could tell you anything about Rutherford B. Hayes beyond how he got elected? Do you think anybody could talk to you about his policies? Fuck no. And so that's what I think is going to happen with Jimmy Carter. It'll just be like, oh, Jimmy Carter, he got in because of Watergate. That's all.
Again, you interrupt me. Why?
Okay, I have a new braid for Rex.
Very well. Show me what you brought so that I can analyze its potential.
Let's see here. Jimmy did the funny boycott in the Moscow Olympics in 1980. But you see, even that, your average person, you think they're going to remember that? Maybe if they're really into sports, or maybe if they watched Miracle, that movie. The average U.S. president can't name 5 presidents. Do you mean person? I'm pretty sure if you become president, you can name more than 5 presidents. Let's see, I'm trying to think, what would most Americans probably say if they were asked to name presidents off the top of their head? They'd probably say, George Washington. They'd probably say the ones on the money, because those are the ones easy to remember, right? Because you see them every day, or like every time you handle cash. So they'd probably go, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Jackson. They'd probably name Benjamin Franklin as a president or something. So I don't know what any of these do. This brain's from Ray.
All right, let's see here. Neural pathways look good. Definitely a breed of guard dog. If I transplant this brain into Rex, he'll be a bit more ferocious in his attacks.
Also, what about from Lupa, the mother of many legion mongrels?
Let's take a look. Exceptional synapse responses. Descended from some type of cattle dog, I imagine. If you want me to transplant this brain into Rex, he'll become more durable.
Okay, and I took down a fiend dog named Violetta.
Big brain on this one.
Big brain.
All right, let's see. Damn. Heavy amounts of the chemicals used in the drug Turbo are present. Transplanting this brain will make Rex faster than he was before.
Let's go with... I guess we should go for the attack. The fat one in the tub. Taft, again. I think that might be a bit too much credit. They probably say Washington, Lincoln, Jackson, Jefferson. And then one of the Roosevelts, I'd say. Let's see. Fifth Crusade says, I was going over the presidents from latest to first. I think I got to Calvin Coolidge before messing up. That's pretty impressive, because let me tell you something. Those Gilded Age presidents, a lot of them, frankly, didn't matter. It just... Because it was the Gilded Age. It wasn't whether you like it or not. The country, I'm not saying how I felt about it, but the country was effectively being run by the businesses, the major, and of course these are oversimplification terms that I'm using, but it's like the Rockefellers, the Carnegies of the world. They'd say Alexander Hamilton was a president, but he wasn't. There's even a song in that musical where Jefferson's going, "You're never gonna be president now. You're never gonna be president now." Anyway, but yeah, the Rockefellers and the Carnegies of the world, or not of the world, but of the United States, those were the people who were really running the country for the Gilded Age. So yeah, I don't blame anybody who couldn't sequentially off the top of their head name the presidents from there. Anyway, let's go from Ray. Okay. Transplant Ray's brain to Rex.
Have a seat.
So he's now Ray. Ray is Spanish for king. Rex is Latin for king. So king brain. Rex has gained the Faithful Protector perk, increasing his attack damage. And ain't nothing but a hound dog. Yeah, and that's what made Theodore Roosevelt such an explosive president, is because he really begins to wield authority again. And again, I'm not saying whether I would agree or disagree with it, but he just had such a strong strength of personality. He really was almost outside a party, because he would argue with his own party all the time, from his days as an assemblyman to beyond. So, like, you can say, oh, Theodore Roosevelt was a Republican, and Franklin Roosevelt was a Democrat, but they both spent just as much time fighting with their own party as with anybody. So like, here's a perfect example of how, like, Theodore Roosevelt, his personality, and incidentally, Theodore Roosevelt is one of those presidents that I think, like, I compare him to Thomas Jefferson, which sounds weird to people, but he's like a president whose life was so big that, like, being president was just a natural part of it. It's like, yeah, of course he became president. And it's like not even one of the biggest things in their lives almost. It's just like another chapter in their multi-story life. Their incredible life. Oh yeah, I need to ask him about the Enclave. What was I going to say? As an example, though, with Theodore Roosevelt. Yeah, so an example of Theodore Roosevelt, how, like, his strength of personality and his political vision transcended the two-party system. There was this, I think it was a coal miners' strike that happened, hold on. That happened during his first term. So the coal miners were striking. It was a really big deal, and the United States was going into winter, which is when you need coal to heat homes, and it was a serious problem. Like, people were going to freeze to death if they didn't have their coal. So the negotiations weren't going well, and so then Theodore Roosevelt sits down with some of the leaders of the strike and also with the heads of the mining, and he says, "You guys are gonna fix this shit." And I said, nope, and we're not gonna do it. We're still fighting. We're gonna beat the other side. And he goes, oh, hey, is that a snow globe? Nice. Limited edition Mojave landmark snow globe. So then he says, okay, tell you what, here's what I'm gonna do. If you guys can't figure out this fucking strike, I'm gonna nationalize the coal mines, and I'm gonna send the army in to mine it, which both sides didn't want, because, you know, the business owner, the people who were working the mines, the businesses, obviously they didn't want the mines nationalized, but also the labor union leaders didn't want the army to be mining them, because then that's taking away from the workers that they represent, the skilled workers. So in a way, they also would have lost the strike if the mines had gotten nationalized. And so everybody was criticizing Theodore Roosevelt. It's like, you can't do this. You can't nationalize the mines. This is completely un-American. And then he says, look, I'm the president, and my job is to serve the American people. And that means I can do whatever I want within my power to do that. If that means I'm going to nationalize the mines, that's not socialist or authoritarianism. That's me protecting the American people, because they need this to survive, literally. And so, like, and you know, those things were touch and go. You know, a lot of his stuff. Now, he did have some genuine mature ideology, especially later on. Like, he had theses. Theses isn't the right word, but it was just one of those things that, like, at the end of the day, he was a strength of personality more than anything else. So it kind of transcends the two-party system, for good or ill.
Again, you interrupt me. Why?
Arcade Gan has asked me to gather all the former members of the Enclave in the Mojave.
You must have something important in mind. I'm willing to go to this little reunion, but my work here isn't complete. Help me get my research to a stage where I can hand it over to my assistant, Calamity, and then ask me about this again.
Calamity, huh? What are you working on?
The Nightkin have varying degrees of mental instability due to their addiction to stealth warriors. I've been trying to come up with a cure. I'm currently investigating the local Night Stalker population, since they seem to have developed a natural stealth field. I've also gotten my hands on a working Stealth Boy Mark II prototype. That experiment is risky. I'd rather not pursue that research just yet.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Demon Slayer here in a minute, Fish, because I want to. Because I actually, right before the stream, I just came from watching the movie. First movie I saw in theaters, I think in 2 years, actually. Because it was one thing or another that was stopping me, but I'm going to talk about it in a minute. It was basically a private showing, too. There's nobody in the theaters right now. Hold on. So, I'd like to help. What do you need me to do?
I'm not convinced that the Night Stalker mutation is a natural, and I need someone to investigate their lair for proof. Some of the super mutants have looked around as well, but they've come back empty-handed. Perhaps a pair of fresh eyes will have better luck. Lily might be interested in coming with you. She's lost a few of her bighorns to Night Stalker attacks, and would enjoy a little revenge.
What makes you think... Oh, what? What makes you think the Night Stalker mutation isn't natural?
I've compared the brain chemistry of a Nightkin to one of the local Night Stalkers we killed. They both exhibit similar neurochemical changes. Now, I'm not claiming that Night Stalkers are running around wearing stealth boys, mind you. I just don't think it's all a coincidence.
Why is the Stealth Boy Mark II riskier?
The stealth field has been modulated to use less power and thus last longer. But for some reason, it has pronounced negative effects on the user. However, these pronounced effects will allow me to pinpoint exactly what parts of the brain they're affecting. Unfortunately, I'll need to run the test on a live subject, and Marcus has encouraged me to investigate the Night Stalker mutation first.
Does Stealth Boy hurt humans?
It's possible, but I've yet to see any hard evidence or hear of any cases where humans were negatively affected. Its negative effects are more pronounced on Nightkin.
Why are you helping the Nightkin?
Because Marcus asked me to, and because it's a reason for me to get up in the morning. I'd like to get one more grand accomplishment done.
Alright. Let's talk about something else. I think that's it. Alright, so we got a new mission. Hey Rex, who's a good king? In 2 languages. Hello, Keen.
Bother someone else. I don't want anything to do with you.
You have a problem with humans?
Humans are always staring at things. We Nightkin don't like being stared at. This is uncomfortable.
How does that make you different from some humans?
It is different. Right now, I'm trying very hard to remain civil, and you're not making it easy with your incessant questions.
Goodbye. Alright, so let's take a look at this quest here. So, ask Lily to help you investigate the Night Stalker mutation. So, where's Lily again? Lily, is like Lily in here with me somewhere? Wait, is that Lily? No, that's Arcade. Where's Lily? Is she in here? I guess she's outside. Yeah, okay, it's the other way. Over here. Probably. I guess let's find out. So yeah, let's talk about Demon Slayer. First off, who in the chat knows what Demon Slayer is? The anime that came out, I think, in 2019. The anime, I don't know when the manga started. Oh, this is Lily. Huh. Okay. But yeah, I went to the... Yeah, I went to go see the movie, and I started streaming right after I came back.
Jimmy! Little Jimmy! My, how you're grown up! So good of you to come visit your grandma.
Little Jimmy? Is that where R-Truth got it from? Okay, well, as a heads up, for those of you who do know what Demon Slayer is, I'm going to be talking about some things, and I'm going to basically be spoiling possibly up to and including the entire first season as well as the movie. Who's Jimmy?
Oh, Jimmy, don't you go being silly now. Come over here and give your grandma some sugar.
I think you have me confused with someone else.
Of course I have, dearie. How sure you be? I didn't take my medicine yet today. How can I help you?
I was looking into the Night Stalker mutation.
Oh no, dearie. 3 makes a crowd.
What do you do in Jacobstown?
I watch over the big horners. They're sweet, gentle creatures, but sometimes they get ornery, just like my grandkids.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
Talk to you soon, dear.
Did that cover the optional thing? Ask Lily to help you investigate the Night Stalker mutations.
Mr. Betsy, but Mr. Benny Nasty. I hope you realize one thing, that crime doesn't pay.
Oh, I have to... It's because Arcade's with me? Okay, so then I gotta dismiss Arcade.
What's up?
It's time for us to part ways, I
Oh, I
guess?
thought my charm could win you over, but I guess it wasn't.
Go back to the Lucky 38 for now.
Huh, back to the tomb, I suppose. If you need me, etc.
Okay, let's try now.
But that Lucky 38 is a large building. And so fancy.
Okay, so I guess she's with me now. Yeah, okay, come along, Lily. Yeah, so I did enjoy the movie, but let me kind of talk to you guys about my thoughts with Demon Slayer in general. So Demon Slayer, for those of you who don't know, it's a shonen. It's super popular right now. It's actually unbelievably popular. And in fact, the movie of Demon Slayer that has now hit America was the #1 film in America last weekend, and I think also actually 2 weekends ago when it premiered, and it also I think was this last weekend. And I think it's also made the most money of any foreign language film, or was it animated film in North American history, something like that. But it's just hitting crazy stats. Now, admittedly, some of that has obviously got to be due to the pandemic because people aren't going to see like Mortal Kombat or Godzilla vs. Kong, which would normally be blockbusters, but they aren't because of the there's a little heart here, hollowed out rock. Huh, that's interesting. Because the people are just staying home and streaming them on HBO Max or whatever, and something like Demon Slayer, Mugen Train is not streamable. Yeah, and it broke the Japanese box office as well. And it's just, in fact, I think I saw a thing where it has now made the most money of any movie in Japanese history, which is nuts. But also the North America thing, that is kind of crazy to think about, because you're talking about things like the Pokemon movie, the Studio Ghibli movies, and Demon Slayer has been outperforming all of those. And it's not even a standalone film, because you have to have seen the first season to understand it. So you're talking about like a 10-hour commitment of other shit you have to watch before you can watch the movie. And it was R-rated, which it definitely should be, actually. Because it earns that R rating. I will say that. And it still is just crushing it at the box office right now. So anyway, that's the context for it. So Demon Slayer. I watched Demon Slayer. The season, or most of season 1. I'll explain the context. last year. It was when I was doing this thing where I decided to watch all of Studio Trigger's stuff, and I was alternating. I'd watch Studio Trigger anime, and then I'd watch something else so I can compare and contrast the styles. Whoop. Yeah. Wait, oh, what did I just find? What is that? Did I just find something? Maybe not. I think I did find something because I was opening that. Oh, look, there's another one of the hearts. Fallen Out Rock. So anyway, so I decided to watch Demon Slayer last year because I had heard that it was like, it had become a cultural phenomenon. Whoa, there's a Night Stalker here. Okay, let me actually look at the specifics of this twist. I need to look for the source of the stealth mutation. The bad people are all gone now. Oh gosh. Alright, so I think my companions can kind of deal with this. Whoop. So anyway, and I'd heard that, like, especially one of the episodes was like, oh my gosh, this was the best episode of anime in history, which, you know how things get hyped, but like, that like it caused like a phenomenon on social media because it was trending on all the different hashtags on Twitter and Facebook or whatever, and like it was confusing some people because there's like, why are demons trending? How do I turn my flashlight on again? I don't remember how to do this in here compared to Nier Automata. I don't remember what button it is. This button? So anyway, so I checked it out, and very quickly I was realizing this is derivative as fuck. The substance, zero chance to hit. Bullshit. Hit something. So, because it's just a shonen. It's just a shonen. And shonens are, or most shonens anyway, are built on tropes. Even the ones that subvert them are just building on tropes. And there's pros and cons that come with that. We're not going to have a discussion right now. Or I guess we could about whether, or like, you know, what is the line for how much borrowing from tropes you should use and something. So, oh shit, I almost shot Rex. Level up! Yeah! Okay, let's level up our, what's the priority here? Maybe lockpick? I'm thinking about lockpick. Repair, like, I haven't really been using repair, which I do feel a bit bad about. Survival's kind of useful. It helps with how much hit points I get later. Let's go with lockpick. But maybe a pinch into, or I don't know, little teeny bit into survival. 1 point into survival. There we go. I'm doing wonderful things. So now, like I said, we're gonna start getting into the spoilers of stuff. So what Demon Slayer is about? It's about this kid who, you know, he's like a teenager. It's kind of vague on his age. Let's say he's 16. And he's living in, not feudal Japan, he's living in the, is it called the Tetsu era? It's like, it was after the Meiji Restoration, but it's basically, that was actually something I did think was pretty interesting. It's in an era of Japan when, like, you know, the Industrial Revolution is really moving along, cities are being created, and electricity's coming to the cities, the trains are being built, there's notable advancements in technology. He's 15 at the start? Okay, so then, like, after the third episode, he's, like, 17, because, like, a couple years go by. After chapter 5, he's still just 15. You know what? I could also believe that. Point is, he's a teenager. Which is actually what I'm going to later when I'm talking about the R-rated movie, the R rating for Demon Slayer, why it definitely earned it. Tanjiro's age is a key part of that. So, hold on. No, it was this way. Okay. So he leaves his town. He lives in the mountains. with his family, and he's got a bunch of brothers and sisters. And like immediately, when I was watching it, I was thinking. And by the way, I'm just killing time while we go through this. I'm just vamping while we go through this area. Am I not in the wrong? Am I not going in the right direction though? Oh, so it was the left. Okay. So I yeah, in like the first 5 minutes of the show, I thought, oh my gosh, this is just so cliche written because he's saying goodbye to his family, and you just know his whole family's gonna fucking die, and like they're all so sweet with him, and it's like, oh shit, hold on. Get him, Lily! Get him! Her dialogue. So anyway, what do we got here? More Night Stalker blood. And like the only thing that was missing was that thing in Futurama where the society, like Bender becomes god to a society that builds a village on his chest plate while he's in space. And there's the little kid who's going like, I'm hugging this thing, mommy, to practice for when I hug dad when he gets home, and things like that. Just like these, they're like obnoxiously sweet family, right? So he goes in the village, he comes back, his entire family's dead, they've been killed by a demon. Time to start slaying some demons. The only one who didn't get killed was his younger sister, Nezuko, who has actually been turned into a demon. So then the quest becomes he has to... Oh, shit. Let's get some Rad-X. The quest is now that he has to find a way to turn his sister into a human again. So it's basically Full Metal Alchemist, And actually, this is going to be like a little bit of a tangent, but it's a little bit strange. Wait, did I already find the thing? Tell Dr. Henry you've discovered a potential cause for the Night Stalker mutations. Oh, so just finding this was the way. Okay, so we could just go back to Dr. Henry now. So it's the radiation pool, clearly. So yeah, he now one of the things I thought was an interesting dynamic was because I wanted to see how they played the dynamic of the main character, older brother, with his little sister, because I have a little sister, but we have an awful relationship. At its best, we just ignore each other. I'm talking about even now as that we are adults, like we live in different cities and stuff like that. Oh, it was the Dead Nightkin. Alright. I can't fast travel from this location. Well, fuck me! So I've got to get out. Oh, we're almost there anyway, actually. Though it looks like there's a dead end over here. Maybe we can find some treasure. So then he trains to learn to fight the demons, and he goes and fights them. But, it's like, there's just so much stuff where it's like, oh, yeah, like, I lost track of how many other things that I was like, oh, this is clearly, it's like Full Metal Alchemist. It's like Hajime no Ippo. It's like this, it's like that. Now, having said, but the thing was, it's derivative as fuck. The Demon Slayer, but it's done in like a perfected way almost. It's one of those things that's like you're doing we're talking about shonen writing tropes here. It's not like it's high science or philosophy, but it is like a perfected version of shonen tropes, where it's like if you could distill shonen into a bottle, that's what Demon Slayer is. And it was very good. Now, I had not read the manga, and I don't think I ever will. Because when I was watching it, while the story itself was extremely derivative, one thing that was consistently impressing me was the sound design, was the animation style, and I'm not just talking about like the fights either. There's a lot going into the art, and the score. And so the movie of Demon Slayer just cranked all that stuff up, where it's like more derivative, more derivative when it comes to the writing. But the music and the sound design and the animation and stuff and the blocking and the choreography, extremely high level. Okay, so do I talk to Calamity about this, or no? I guess I gotta talk to him first.
Is there something else I can do for you?
I'm gonna keep elaborating. I found a chewed up stealth boy in the Night Stalker lair.
There's still power, but the casing is cracked. I'm astonished that exposure to the stealth radiation could induce mutations so rapidly. More importantly, this explains why my research into this group of Night Stalkers hasn't come up with a cure for the Night King. There's only one avenue left for me. I need to run the Mark II test on Lily. It's the only way.
Why Lily and not some other Nightkin?
Lily is eccentric, certainly, but I've never felt she was dangerous. More importantly, she asked if she could help me in some way. I've told her about the risks, and she still insists on helping me.
So real quick, Sierra Nevada 557, you took the words from my brain to your keyboard. So Sierra Nevada 557 said, I read the entire manga, and after reading it, I've been watching the anime. I can't go back because you're so used to the new visual designs, they can't do in manga form and audio. Exactly. Now, I've talked in the past before about how it's actually really rare that I will watch. Now, I'm no anime expert, but these are just my personal tastes. I will very rarely watch an anime that has a manga. And it's not that like I'm going to go out of my way to read the manga all the time either, but it's like, because I kind of feel that a lot of anime, it's just like, okay, so we have the manga, that's pretty much a storyboard, just throw some fucking color on it and we'll put a theme song at the beginning and boom, let's make some fucking money and sell some DVDs. And it's I feel like whenever in any medium you are creating an adaptation of it, you need to like almost justify that. And yes, I know the real justification is make some money, but I'm talking about from an artistic point of view, what is the justification for you making this conversion besides money? And so like when it comes to turning, so if I'm going to watch something that's already a manga, you need to be justifying that for me by bringing it with the voice acting, with the score, and of course with the animation itself. But I think score is kind of the most important, if in my personal opinion, of the three. So hold on real quick. What are the risks of the experiment? And I'll keep elaborating in a second.
Possibly immediate and permanent mental damage. There's a reason the Stealth Boy Mark II's never got beyond the prototype stage. Lily already has a pre-existing condition, and the experiment will likely make things worse for her.
I'll talk to Lily. I need to think about this.
Once you're done thinking, talk to Lily.
What you bastard. Let's ask her. Okay. Yeah. So anyway. But yeah, I think that first off, Ufotable or UFO table, depending on how you ask, I don't know. They seem to be the gold standard right now when it comes to beauty and animation. I hear good things about Konami too, but Konami had that fire, so you know that obviously put a damper on things. But like filler arcs can be a bitch too when you're adapting stuff from manga and the manga's not finished yet. Anyway, but like a perfect example of like how do you effectively convey this in a manga form compared to a moving anime is there's a scene, there's like one of the fights in Demon Slayer is the main character is fighting a demon who is using these drums to spin a room that he is in. So the room is actively moving while the fight is going on. There's activity happening constantly in this three-dimensional space. And it's one of those things, well, how do you convey that on the page as effectively as they did in the anime? Because I thought they did a great job. You know, they were able to use modern techniques to show that very well. So when I talk about like the amazing animation of Demon Slayer, I'm not just talking about like, oh, look at these pretty colors, or even look at this realism. I'm also talking about the cinematography of it. Putting that camera, in quotation marks, the camera in the room, creating this three-dimensional space on a 2D image, and it actively moving around. It's very impressive at times. And so things like that, like I can't imagine reading the manga because it's such an integral part of it for me that it's like I just couldn't really see it. And it's my understanding that even the manga creator has been extremely high praise, has been putting out extremely high praise for the anime, and obviously if she's going to, like, she's making money off of it. But it's like the famous episode 19, I heard that like she was tweeting out that she was weeping when she saw it. It was just like all her dreams were coming true, all of her vision was happening. things like that. Anyway, let's talk to Lily, and then I'll keep talking. Lily.
Leo doesn't like it. Let that houseman alive, dearly. He thinks you should let us chop him.
Did you still want to help Dr. Henry run his experiment?
Of course, dearly. I know it's dangerous, but it'll all turn out for the best. You'll see. I'll go to it now. It would be rude to keep it later.
Oh, well, shit. I thought that there was going to be something where I got to try to explain it to her. This actually reminds me of a Supreme Court case regarding the death penalty, but we'll talk about that another day. Madison versus Alabama. Somebody remind me in the future.
The equipment is hooked up and ready. We can start the test as soon as you give me the go-ahead.
Let's do it.
Very well. Please stand back. I don't want any erroneous readings. You're welcome to stay and observe if you want to.
Shit. Here we go.
All right, power on the stealth quality.
Turning it on. Feels strange. Strange but good.
Interesting. Try thinking aggressive thoughts now. Think about smashing a rat's skin.
Now I smash! Yeah!
How are those readings looking, Calamity?
Stealth field isn't stable and scrambling things. The reading says gamma wave activity is 0. But that can't possibly be right. Gamma wave activity is 0. That can't be right. Must be a result of the interference.
All right, we're done here. Go ahead and power the stealth boy down. I'll get back to you on that in a moment, once I've analyzed the results.
What's happening? What's happening? Speak with Keen and diffuse situation. Oh, he's pissed about the experiments being done on
My
him.
request is perfectly reasonable. Give us the stealth boy specs, and there will be no need for us to splatter the room with your insides.
What? What you do in the wasteland affects all the mutants here, but you didn't think about that, did you? What?
No, I didn't. Not until now, anyway. Very well, human. You've made your point, and I withdraw my request.
Okay. Well, alright, let's speak with Dr. Henry.
Nice work with the Nightkin. I've never seen anyone able to talk their kind out of anything once they had their mind set to it. I got a lot of useful data from the experiment, and am a lot closer to a cure than before. It's occurred to me that this brief test might not yield a cure anytime soon. However, if Lily were to continue to wear the prototype...
Shit, 90. Decide whether or not Mark should continue to wear the Borg 18. What do you guys think? Should I keep doing the risk, or... Because, fuck, I'm not going to be able to get my science up to 90 anytime soon. No way. Because I'm getting 16 skill points each time, so that's 32. Actually, no, that would exactly get me there. So if I dumped everything into science for the next 2 levels, I could do this. What do you want to do?
I'm close to the cure. I can feel it. Lily's continued help will give me the last bit of data that I need.
What will happen to Lily?
Permanent damage to her mind is a certainty. Even the cure won't help.
No. No.
I understand.
Let's go do other things. We can level up, and we're gonna start dumping stuff into science. We're not gonna do this. If he can make the cure with science, we don't need to do this to her. It can wait. I'm sure there's other quests we could find in the world. Like I hear you knocking. No, 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 you don't have me, no. So, gosh, what was I talking about? Actually, I think I'm probably going to call it a night. I got up really early this morning. It's been a long day. Even though, yeah, it's a long day going to the movies. Yeah, but yeah, and then doing this, and I'm also drinking, but also, like, the rest of my day was very busy. It was a whole thing. But let me talk about why I stopped watching Demon Slayer. Because I actually didn't even finish the first season. I looked up a recap video, but I had also looked things up before to finish up the season 1. So let's just replace this artillery. But so here was the thing. I thought Demon Slayer, even though it was season 1, even though it was very derivative, like I said, I was very impressed with the score, with the sound design, with the different artistic directions. And then it, of course, climaxes with episode 19, which is the super famous episode where he beats that boss, that one particularly strong demon. And now, that episode was, of course, incredible. But then there is the... Hold on, thinking here. Is this the right area? Do I have to? I think I have to go back. But then episode 20 happens, and it immediately makes the decision, which I was not a very big fan of. Now, it is a shonen style series, so power levels, power scaling, very important part of how it works. This is how all shonens are, to varying degrees. But he beats one of the Elite 12, but then in episode 20, they immediately, they do an immediate retcon, for lack of a better word. Oh, the artillery is in Caesar's head? My bad. And where it's like, oh, actually, that demon wasn't killed, and so another much, much stronger character has to come in and kill him for him. And I thought, okay, I didn't really like that because that takes away from the climactic moment of episode 19, but I guess they want to establish that the main character's power level is still not high enough that he can kill these really elite demons. We're going to stick a pin in that. So remember that. I was annoyed by it, but I understood the reasoning. You didn't want to make it so that he could beat any of the lower 6. So then afterwards, there's just this thing where, basically you then meet everybody else in the Demon Slayer Corps, at least all the important named characters. I didn't like any of them, even ones that I thought I initially liked. By the end of the episode, I wasn't liking them. They just all were really annoying, and I didn't like their personalities and things like that. And it was just every single one of them, and I thought, oh my gosh, this went from a show that had 6 characters and only 2 of them are main characters, and now we've tripled the size of the cast, and everybody new who's been added I don't like. This is terrible. Let's see, replace the firing mechanism. Fantastic. Completed. Inform Lucius that the howitzer has been repaired. Okay, where's Lucius? Then there was the issue with the score, where there was a big, just as one example, but this is a key one. I think I actually talked about this in my stream earlier today.
You must enter Kaisar's tent.
Yeah, okay, where's my people? Where's Arcade? Oh, right, I left Arcade. Another place. Hold on. Back up. Wait here. So there's this one particular track that was used for the huge epic moment in episode 19. And then they used it again for what I thought was a not nearly as worth it moment later, and I thought you were diluting the power of the score here. It would be like if in, what are some famous musical scores, but, kind of like in Jurassic Park 3, they started to overuse the bum bum, bum bum, bum bum bum, bum 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 bum, or, what's another example, or I don't know. Just imagine if they started to play the Rohan tune, like in the Lord of the Rings movies. You know, the ones that plays when they arrive on Pelennor Fields and they charge the orc line. You know, just like imagine if they started playing that every time Eomer talked or whatever. It would lose its strength, and so they were doing that. And I thought, I know he's back there. I'm just wandering around while I finish my thought here. So I thought you were diluting the strength of your own soundtrack by doing this. And again, I didn't really like all the different characters. So there was that really sweet moment though where he meets his two friends in the hospital and they're all okay. And I just turned it. I don't even think that was the end of the episode. It was like in the middle of the episode, and I just turned it off and I said, okay, I'm done with this show. But I then later on just read up on and then looked up a couple videos on what happens later. And then the stuff that I found out happened in the rest of the season just further confirmed to me, like, oh yeah, I'm really glad that I did this. So you remember how I was talking about the power level scaling? Well, I thought, okay, so they didn't actually have him kill one of the Elite 12 demons because they didn't want to make it that he actually can do that on his own just yet for power scaling reasons. But then there's a scene where the main big bad demon kills the other lower half members of the elite demons because he goes, one of you 6 got killed by this fucking child, so clearly you're all too weak. I'm gonna kill you all and make new ones. And so I thought, then why did you not have it that he actually got the kill in episode 19? Why did you have to, and I say retcon, but it wasn't a retcon, it was all part of the same canon, but it's like, you pulled back on it, and so you did that for power scaling reasons, which annoyed me, but I understood it, but now you did it when you had a solution later anyway. It's bullshit, and I was so mad at that decision. Hold on. Okay, Billy, let's talk to Lucius real quick. The howitzer is operational.
Well done. It will be very useful in the coming battle against the snipers the NCR will no doubt have hidden in the hills near the dam.
Indeed. Why, alright. Let's head back out. Let's leave the camp, and then we're going to probably call it a day, and I'll figure out the quests that I want to do. So yeah, it was just stuff like that. Now the movie, my abbreviated quick review of the movie. I went into the movie. I was interested in it. Obviously, I went out to go see it. But I'd also be lying if I said that there wasn't at least a part of me that was going like, hey, this is kind of like being a part of history. It's a big thing in North America right now, and I know the story well enough. Chip and the Securitron. Maybe, yeah, like start doing the Caesar quests. I'm thinking about it, but let's at least get our weapons back and leave. But like I said, I didn't like any of the Elite Demon Slayer Corps. And then, of course, they're meeting up with one on the train. And the first scene where they're talking with him, and it's just more typical, oh, look how wacky he is. He keeps saying delicious while he eats, or whatever the fuck. Who cares? And that scene was really hard to get through. I'm just sitting there in the theater going, oh, my fucking God, is this ever going to end? Just really strange. And then by the end of the movie, he's like everybody's favorite character, and it's like you have to be impressed. I'm not sure how long the movie was. I think it was like 2 hours, less than 2 hours. And it's like, I don't want to spoil too much with the movie, but it's like, I'm sure there's tons of people who that guy is now their favorite character.
Awe, are you ready to return to Cottonwood Cove?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Thank you very much. And the score was spectacular, like, the music. Oh, Rex! Fuck, I always forget my allies in Caesar's fort. Whoopsie. But I did enjoy the movie, even outside of the music and the animation style and the sound design, because it was basically also breaking down the conscious and unconscious psyche.
Disarm and relinquish all banned items.
Yeah, but both the conscious and subconscious psyche of Tanjiro, the main character, was really explored in this movie, and I was very pleasantly surprised by that. I thought it was great because one of the things that's really kept him apart from most shonen protagonists, not all, but most, is for one thing, Tanjiro's not fucking stupid, which is like gotten really overplayed. Well, this whole idea where it's like, well, I just want to fight, and I'm really dumb and can't add or do math or numbers or think real good because I'm too busy using my punchy fists all the time instead of using my pink slime in the brain head skull, and so he's not stupid, which is nice, but he is also just such a sweetheart. He's the sweetest shonen protagonist you've ever seen, his family and taking care of his sister, which, like, honestly, I don't know how, like, I don't know if he's going above and beyond with his relationship with his sister. I've already said I don't have a good relationship with my sister, probably never will. I think it's a little too late for that. So I don't understand that part of it as well, I guess, but Rex, let's go. Oh, you sniffing ass over here? Okay. Follow me. Let's go, Rex. Ray. There we go. I had to use the new brain's name. Yeah, but like the way how he'll kill demons, and like he could have this righteous anger towards them, but he also understands that they've been, that they used to be humans and they've been destroyed, and the way that he'll pray over demons that he's killed, the way that sometimes they treat it like he's releasing a demon when he kills them, like it's like the best possible thing that could have happened to him. I think that some of that stuff is done extremely well with him. And then when they spent so much of the movie exploring his internal emotions and feelings, and I thought it was done in a really good way. Because most shonen protagonists, they're very simple people who don't get explored that much. But he could be angry, he could be sad, he could be, he's a straight man, and I don't mean like his sexuality. I'm talking about he's the straight man, like Hank Hill's the straight man, in comparison to the weirdos around him. But it works. It like that doesn't, just because you're the straight man doesn't mean you can't be complex, or not complex. You could be a straightforward character, but that doesn't mean you have to be one-dimensional. Does that make sense? I hope I described that correctly. Obviously, I've been drinking out of an oil can over here. And I think the show uses comedy well too. Sometimes I've talked about being back at Good Springs, take out the powder gangers with Rex and maxed out Dynamite. You know what? Sure. Although I think I killed them all in the. Oops. I'm pretty sure I killed all the powder gangers in the prison. But sure, if there's any of them alive, let's go do that. But I think the comedy they do quite well sometimes. I'm trying to think of like an example of I probably should save of the comedy being done well, because sometimes it does go a little bit over the top. But for example, so there's like this Inception kind of thing where in the movie where I gotta talk to Sonny. Yeah, Sonny over here, right? Hey, Sonny, sorry I killed your dog. Anyway, I have one now, and it's better than your old one. But hold on a sec. Let me not talk to her real quick so I can like get my thoughts together. Okay, so there's like this Inception type thing in the movie where a lot of the characters, people are going into their dreams. And so there's this one who's a comedy character. He's like one of the main character's friends, and he's like got a big crush on the sister. So these people are invading their brains to try to destroy parts of their subconscious, and the subconscious is of a person is reflected by their personality. But this one guy, he's gone into the subconscious of the one who's in love with Tanjiro's sister Nezuko, or love might be a strong word. He has a real big crush, and instead of there being like a landscape that you can walk around, he's in total pitch black darkness. And the guy's going, why is this guy's, subconscious pitch black? And this is after we've already seen the main character's one, which was like a whole other thing that you're learning about his personality because you're looking at his subconscious. But then this other guy, it's just pitch black. So he's like, what's going on here? Why is it pitch black? And then the main character's like inner defense mechanism shows up and he goes, nobody's allowed in my brain but Nezuko. So he's in full-blown simp mode, as the kids would say, right? And he's got pruning shears like you garden with. And so he says like, you are not Nezuko, then you don't belong in my brain. And so then he starts chasing him with the pruning shears, but then he stops for a second. He says, wait a minute, do you know where Nezuko is? And the guy invading the brain goes, no, I don't. Okay, well then you're gonna die. And then he keeps chasing him again. So it's like, that's funny, good comic relief, in my personal opinion, to kind of break up some of the more serious moments. Hold on.
Hi there. Sticking around Good Springs for a while longer?
So, even though I'm talking about how like a lot of this stuff is like the plot and the characterization, a lot of it is very derivative, except for the main character. Because, like I said, I don't think I've ever seen a shonen protagonist who's as sensitive and is such a sweetheart like he is. But a lot of it's extremely derivative. That doesn't mean it's not good, though. But I'm definitely interested in it. I'll probably keep watching the anime as it releases over the next years. But I don't think I'll ever watch a shonen or read a shonen again after this, unless it's done by Studio Trigger. Okay, any work around here?
Not in Good Springs, no. Most of what's in there is junk, but there's this old safe that even Easy Pete wasn't able to crack with dynamite. If you want to take a shot at it, take these.
She's kind of positioned weird. What are the bobby pins for?
You'll need those to pick the lock. Be careful.
This magazine locksmith reader?
The lock's too much for you to handle.
Or I'll take a look at that safe.
Always happy to help someone down on their luck.
Let's go do that. To the schoolhouse! Na-na-na. Okay, so he does love Nezuko. It's not too strong a word? Okay, that's fine. She's probably crippled. Oh, that's right! I think I did cripple her with one of my grenades. But yeah, I can't, and even though, I want to be perfectly clear, even though I think a lot of the plot elements are, I don't know what other word I could possibly use, but they are derivative. That's the word of the stream, right? They're derivative from other works. I also cannot praise highly enough the sound design, the score, the voice acting, the animation style, because, for example, in the movie, there's a scene where a character is dying, it's getting very emotional, and then Inosuke, who's one of Tenjiro's friends, who wears a mask so you never see his face, through the animation body language, through the noises being made by the actor, by the sound design, you can tell the emotions he's feeling, like when he's crying, for example. So it's done very, very well. Oh no, right, this is Dr. Mitchell's house. Where's the school? Is this the school? Oh, no, it's over there. The one that looks like a school. Meow, seizure, meow. Yep, this is it. Okay, where's the safe? There it is. What the hell was that? Rex, get him! Get him, boy! Get him! 2 XP. Gosh. Alright, what we got here? Oh, we've got an activated terminal here, too. Let's do that in a second. Let's do this first. Okay. Come on. Easy my ass. No other way. Like here. Boom. Got bottle caps. Ooh, Mentats. Dune reference. Very nice. So some good stuff in there, huh? Alright, broken terminal. Error. What? Processor config. Okay, guess I can't actually do anything there. I think that might be enough. Yeah. The oil can ale. I guess let's go back to Dr. Sunday now that we opened the vase. Oh. But I'm gonna definitely live stream more tomorrow. I'm not working. Although I need to go out at some point to run an errand. But I can't do that until... I can't do it in the morning, basically. Yeah, so I guess to make a long story short, Demon Slayer didn't finish the first season, caught up without watching the rest of it, watched the movie. The flaws are still there, but the things that make it great are still there also, and so I'll probably continue watching it as the anime releases. And, yeah, because, fuck, that score was so good. It, like, yeah, anyway, we're going to wrap it up here. Yeah, we'll just stop it here, and then the next episode we'll talk to Sunny. So I'll live stream this tomorrow. I'm going to probably head to bed here. Oh, excuse me. I'm Conquering History Games. Thank you very much for joining me, and for just hearing me chit-chat. You know, it was kind of cool to talk with you all about stuff. And nobody seemed to mind, because, you know, obviously most of the time, I know there was a couple points where I just stopped. Demon Slayer is a pretty mixed bag. Yeah, it is. It's got lows, but it's got damn high highs, and I would ultimately say that I'm the kind of guy who's into that. You know, I'm the kind of person who will say that, for example, what's a non-anime example? Well, some would argue that it is an anime, even though it's made in America. But I'm the kind of person who thinks that The Legend of Korra is better than Avatar: The Last Airbender, because while it is not as consistent in quality, when it's hitting its peaks, it's better. And so I will take... I think I would say I've always been somebody who's willing to accept when a show goes low, it's going to be top. What's going to come next that's going to top Demon Slayer? Who knows? And of course they all ultimately bow to One Piece, unless we're talking about... yeah, because like Demon Slayer was selling better than One Piece for a little bit, but then it ended. One Piece is of course still the overall king. You know, there's so many shonen that were born and lived... Excuse me, so many shonen mangas that were born and lived and died, and One Piece kept on going. But I don't think after Demon Slayer, at this point I'm already in, I need to finish it, but I don't think unless it's something Studio Trigger does, because Studio Trigger does original stuff, like in anime form, but I don't think I'll ever read or watch a shonen-style show again, you know, after Demon Slayer. Anyway, let's see, you watched Kill la Kill because of the recommendations? Oh, yeah, well, I think Kill la Kill's great. Kill la Kill is an artistically very top-notch anime, but it also appeals... Not that I'm saying your lowest common denominator. I should say it has broad appeals, which help it maintain a certain popularity, which is good because, you know, that helps Studio Trigger make money, and so then they can make their stuff that's sometimes not so popular. Like, I don't think that Kiznaver is exactly bringing in the big bucks for them. Anyway, not that I had a problem with Kiznaver, I'm just saying of all the Studio Trigger animes, that's the one I'm probably least likely to rewatch, although it was also a very unique Studio Trigger anime. Anyway, we're getting totally off topic here. We've kind of been for a while. Anyway, I'm Conquering History Games. In the next stream, we'll keep talking to Sunny Smiles, and we'll figure out what we're going to do next. Good night.